All right, G'tvach. Where's Reb Schoenberg?
In Yerushalayim.
Okay, fine. Today's Daf Ches, we're starting from Zayin Beis. So Gemara said that according to Rebbe Lazar, you need a full shear of blood. When you start out, in order to kaddish the blood for Zrika, you need a full shear. You can't combine two kelim, two shiurim to make one. We mentioned that Akdama to the Masechta, there's one of the menachos is Chavite Kohen Gadol. It's the mincha that the Kohen Gadol brings every day. It starts out with one Yisarayin, and you split it in half. Half a Yisarayin in the morning, half a Yisarayin in the afternoon, and it's called Chavitin. Why? Chavite Kohen Gadol, because it's made on a machavas. So these Chavite Kohen Gadol. If the Kohen Gadol brought in the morning a half a Yisarin, and then he added another half a Yisarin later on, or he used half of Yisarin, and then for the afternoon one he used half a Yisarin, it's not Kaddish. You need the full shear, which is the Yisarin, to start out with. So Rebbe Lazar kind of explains the svara. It actually does work with a half of Yisarin. Why? Because eventually all you're going to be makriv is a half of Yisarin. So to start out with, you can do a half of Yisarin. Ask the Gemara, Daf Ches Amud V'misa leilef midah. If Rebbe Lazar learns that blood, you need a full shiur, so why doesn't he learn the Chavite Kohen Gadol from blood? And say, just like Chavite Kohen Gadol, just like blood, you need a full shear. You can't combine two half a shiurim to make one shear. So to the Chavitin, you shouldn't be able to combine two half of shiurim to make one shear. What's a pella here, when you read the Gemara, is that Rebbe Lazar explains. He says, "Mitoich shekrei v'lachatzoyin, k'dosh l'chatzoyin." He tells you what a svara is. There's a svara of mitoich. Since, anyways, it's going to be nikrav, a half a shear, so too, you don't need to start out with a full shear. So that's a kasha that Tosfos asks, and Tosfos says, yeah, but blood is also a half a shear, because there's a lot of zrikas, a lot of hazois, and you do different hazois, different zrikas at different times. So each one is like being makriv a carbon. Each zrika by itself is a carbon.
You're not yoitz the carbon until the last zrika.
Yeah, but each one is individual. Over here also, but you're saying each chavitin is different. So again, so what's the kasha? The kasha is, if Rebbe Lazar holds that by blood, you need to start out with a full shear, whatever you're going to throw that day. That's what you need to start out with. So how come he says, by chavitin, that you can start out with a half of chavitin, a half of isarim. You don't need the full isarim when you start out with. V'chiteima, Rebbe Lazar milsam and milsa legama. Maybe Rebbe Lazar will not learn out chavitin from blood. And that's why chavitin is one halacha, blood is another halacha. The halacha they need all of the blood in one shear is because it says in the pasuk we had last week. It says badam, or whatever the lashon was over there. Yeah, badam with a patach. Remember, it says instead of bidam, it says badam. Badam means all of the blood, but it doesn't say that by mincha. And you do not learn. Maybe he doesn't learn out mincha from blood, but that can't be. He does learn out one thing from another thing. So we know that the kmitza should be done in the azara. What happens if he does the kmitza in the heichal? More gedusha in the heichal. Yolif mincha. Shekei matzinu besilut bezichin. The kmitza in the heichal is kosher. Why? Because where's the shulchan and the lechem apanim? Inside the heichal. And removing the levaina, the bezichin, the levaina from the lechem apanim is like the kmitza. It is the matter to eat the lechem apanim. It's like the kmitza of a mincha. So since you could remove the levaina from the lechem upon him inside the heichal, so too you can also do the kmitza in the heichal. But you see that Rebbe Lazar is learning one thing from another thing. What is he learning? He's learning a mincha from lechem upon him. So don't tell me that he cannot learn out mincha from blood. Says the Gemara, wait a minute. Mincha min mincha yalef. Yeah, he's learning out a mincha from lechem upon him, which is also a mincha. Mincha medam lo yalef. That's not a good raya. Just because he learns out halacha that you can do kmitza and a mincha from lechem upon him, that's because they're all in the same category. Lechem upon him and mincha are both minchas. But meichatesa that he would learn out a mincha from blood, which are two different things. Umincha me mincha me aleph. But wait, you're telling me that one halacha of a mincha you can learn out from another halacha. Who says Vatanya actually perko nifras lachmo? So we're talking about the shulchan the lechem upon him, and we have a halacha just like we have a halacha by a mincha that it can't be chaser, it can't be missing anything. So too we have the same halacha by the lechem upon him. If you want to be makter the levaina, you have to make sure that the breads, the 12 breads, are shleimin. What happens if one of the breads breaks? And it has a halacha of a chaser. I saw this Fasema says because it's impossible for something to break without one crumb go missing. Fine, that's a svara. But maybe even without that, it's considered a chaser. So let's see inside. When did it break? Let's see when it broke. Actually, pirko nifras lachma. If before they took apart the lechem and the levaina, right? Because every week we had yesterday that four kohanim would go in, grab the loaves of bread, grab the levaina, the other kohanim would take it from them. So there's a whole process of breaking it down, replacing it with the new bread.
What do they do if it was broken? What do they do with the love?
Nothing. Can't use it. They just got rid of it. But we're talking about can you eat it?
Well, I just say it's missing the crumb. It's missing the whole chunk.
No, it just cracked open. Like your bread broke.
It's two pieces?
There's a crack down the middle. Two pieces,
So now
one
the whole
piece.
thing is split into two?
Yeah.
It's not whole anymore.
So it's not whole, like you're missing a big chunk.
Why are you missing?
It's still there.
It weighed 1 pound before and it weighs 1 pound right now. It just cracked in half. Why was missing?
It's just a
Slice. The lotion of process, the slice.
Okay. So why is anything missing? Nothing's missing.
Because you have 13 now, you just have 12, now there's 13.
Now you're telling me other svaras, but why is it chaser? We're talking about a halacha of chaser.
Because you don't have a whole...
Adarabah, it's yoiser, it's not
You're missing
chaser.
the whole piece, you're missing the whole chunk.
You're not missing. You got more. You got instead of 12, you have 13. Why is that? What's the problem with that?
Each one is smaller. You're missing
So that's why he says a svara that something's missing.
Each one, yeah, that's it.
Or without this vasemes, halachically it's missing. Fine. So let's see.
Going to the lechem upon him out of the table.
Right. So actually, perko nifras lachma. Before they took apart the lechem upon him and the levaina from the table, it cracked. Halechem pasul vein makter olav sabazichim. The halacha is the lechem is all 12 of them, right? One cracked, all 12 of them are no good, and you're not makter the bazichin. Finished. Get rid of it. Meshepirko nifras lachma. Once it was taken apart, then the bread cracked or sliced. Say whatever you want to say. Basically, it's not whole anymore. Halechem pasul. Umakter olav sabazichim. So this is like Rashi says that once you get rid of the lechem, you start breaking down the lechem. It's similar to after kimitza. It's the next step. V'amar Rebbe Lazar. Here comes Rebbe Lazar and he says Allah. Loi perka mamish. It doesn't mean that you broke down the lechem, that you started taking it apart, you took it off the shulchan. Elokivin shegia zman alefarek. It just came the time. When's the time to take it down? By chatzos, 6 hours in the day, chatzos. Kivin shegia zman alefarek av bishloi pirko kemi shepirko dam. It's as if you took it apart. V'amai tevi kimincha shechosra koydem kimitza. If we never took it apart, so everything is in place. If everything is in place, it's as if there's no kmitza. If there's no kmitza, it should be as if we have a mincha that's missing a part of it before the kmitza was done. Because breaking it down, we said, is like doing kmitza. If you didn't break it down, which Rebbe Loza says you don't have to break it down, as long as the clock hits chatzois, it's as if you broke it down. But he didn't break it down, so there's no kmitza done. So that means the chisaron happened before kmitza. Holy kashi. Mincha loy bar breira kaimetz lidah. V'ha bar breira kaimetz lidah. Very gishmaka difference. Saying like this, it's as if there was kmitza done, because the kmitza is already in a spoon. I already know what the kmitza is. So when the time came to do the kmitza, I don't have to physically do the kmitza, because the kmitza is done already. I just say, okay, that part that's in the spoon, that should be as if I did the kmitza. Mashenkin, if you have a mincha, I can't say it's as if I did kmitza, because I don't know what part of the bowl I'm going to take my kmitza out of. Okay, so you're telling me that it's as if kmitza was done. Still, it's as if you did kmitza, and after you did kmitza, something went missing from the bowl. Still, you're not allowed to do, right? If you have a bowl of soilus, and I took my kmitza out of the bowl, what is the rest of the soilus called? Shirayim. And if part of that shirayim goes missing before I put my kmitza on the mizbeach, I can't do anything with it. Says the Gemara, no, that's not true, because we're going to see even today. Lav pluktaninu, it's a machlokes. Rebbe Loza savar lo kiman dama shirayim shechasu ben kmitza laktor maktir kohen aleim. Rebbe Loza holds like Rabbi Yochanan that once you do kmitza, even if something goes missing from the bowl, I'm maktir the kmitza and everything is good. Just Rabbi Yochanan is going to say you don't eat from the bowl. Since it went missing, you don't eat from it. But I am maktir the kohen.
You get to your chiyuv?
Yep.
Just the rest of the shirayim you don't eat?
Exactly. Gufa. We learned. Chavidi Kohen Gadol, these two menachos that Kohen Gadol brings every single day, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. He brings an isaron and he splits it in half. A half of isaron. They actually had a kli in the Beis Hamikdash. A half of isaron kli. They had two kalim that measured solids. A half of isaron and a whole isaron. The isaron is for a regular mincha, and there's other menachos that have two isaronim, so you just take two of these kalim. And then they had a half of isaron for this exact thing, to see how much you need for the morning and how much you need in the afternoon. Yes, you're makriv a half of isaron in the morning, but in order for the kedusha to be chal on that half, I need the entire isaron, I need the flour that I'm going to use in the afternoon to be in the same bowl at the same time. Since anyways, you're only makriv half at a time, so the kedusha is chal if I only have half.
So they didn't use the half isaron kli for according to Rabbi Yochanan. They used the full isaron kli.
No, they did.
From that they
half out,
transferred half out.
Right. We're going to see in a second whether that, not a second, but we're going to see later, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's mekadosh. There's a kli called a bisa. The isaron kli was just a measuring cup, not necessarily the avdusha. The Gemara says it did have avdusha, but I'm saying that's not where the avdusha was chal maybe. My time at the Rabbi Yochanan, what's his svara? That you need all of it. Omakro mincha machatziso. So it says in the pasuk, Zeh korban haravana asher ikrivu LaHashem b'yom yimosha choyse asir seif soiles mincha tamid machatziso ba'boiker u'machatziso ba'arev. So it says mincha, then it says the word machatziso. So the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan is learning that first you had a mincha. How much is a mincha? An isaron. Then after that step number one is first have an isaron. I need all the flour together in one bowl. Once I have that step, then I can make machatziso b'boiker, machatziso b'arev. Then take it and then you take the whole and you make from the whole a half. Meisvei, now the Gemara goes a kasha on Rebbe Elazar. The Rebbe Elazar says I can take chavitin, the Kohen Gadol is chavitin, and do half. Even a half of the flour becomes kadosh. How does that work? How does that work with this brayso? It says chavitin Kohen Gadol lo yayu bois chatzoyin. They wouldn't come half. Elo maybe sarin shalem. It says mefurish. You have to have a holy sarin. And only afterwards you split it in half. That's kasha number 1. It's really the same kasha, just we have another source. Betanya, ilu nemar mincha machatzis. If it would say mincha machatzis, it says machatzisa, but if it would say mincha machatzis, first he goes home and he brings a half, or he's sorin, and he's makriv, and then later on, chatzi sorin mebeis is makriv. So it's a bam kasha on Rebbe Elazar. How does Rebbe Elazar say that I could bring a half when we have these brises, the same mefurish, it has to be a whole? Says the Gemara le mitzvah. When the Torah tells us that you should bring a holy sarai, it's a mitzvah, but it's not ma'akiv. So we're going to change your lechatchila. What you said before, lechatchila, we're going to change that. No, it's only b'di'evet. But lechatchila, if you want to do with a mitzvah lechatchila, bring the whole thing. But if you didn't, if let's say he didn't have at home a holy sarin, so just bring whatever you have, bring the half, and later on you buy the rest. Right? We had many times. Chukah means it's dafka the way it says in the Torah. It's not a mitzvah. It has to be exactly like that. Meaning you have to bring the holy sarin. The half is not good. It's makiv. There's nobody ever there. How did you guys understand this pshat? What does
Take
it
it
mean
out of
here?
the house, not to put it in the base of Mikdash.
So when you take it out of your house, it has to be shalom. What kind? That's a mitzvah.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah.
to the base of Mikdash
Right.
Shalem.
Why?
It has to be in one clean.
So there's a mitzvah to bring from your house.
You have to have the right measurements when you
Time out.
clean.
When I bring it, put it into the kli, I could do half. But schlepping from the makolet, I have to be a whole.
No, it's not that. It's the idea of being makdish at the same time.
So I saw that Chazon Ish says here, and the Briskerov, because I couldn't understand today what the pshat is. But the Mesivta brings down that the pshat is a difference of Kedushas Haguf and Kedushas Damim. The Kedushas Damim has to be Shalim. It's Moirdik. And Kedushas Haguf could be half. What kind of bring from a house? Why do you have to bring from your house a Shalim? That'll be a tremendous business.
But I said you have to be makdish at one
That's how we
point.
feel.
Oh, right. You have to be magdish when you bring it from your house as a whole, but there is a kedusha there. So if there's a kedusha, so who cares that afterwards he did half? It's already kaddish. So that's what he comes to explain. He starts it off with the kedusha's damim. It's a lower kedusha, but it's a kedusha. In order to get to that level of kedusha's damim, you have to have the fully sarai. Later on, when you're doing kedushas haguf and you put it into a kli shareis, then it's enough to have a half a shear. It's very good shmachna. Not stam lovim basic. So the ikka chosim in a sefer maybe from the words. The Gemara should have said kedushas damim, but he means that's what the Gemara means.
The thing is that he bought it all together.
What?
He bought it in one shot.
Right. Well, not just bought it. When he decided that this flour is going to be a mincha, it had to be together. Then it had to be together. Then he did a certain kedusha. He designated it. His original designation to the mincha, it had to be all in one isaray. Later on, when he made it from a simple designation of kedushas damim, and he upped it one level to kedushas haguf, that designation is not. It's not necessary to have a full shear. In that you can have the half a shear, the half of isaray. Umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. Rabbi Yochanan says that Chavit Kohen Gadol is not kodesh when you do half. V'itmar hifresh chatzi saroin v'daiti lahoisif. Now, if you pay attention to the words there, so you don't really have a kasha, right? If he was mafresh a half of his saroin, but he had in mind, that's the key word here. He had in mind to add on to it. Rav Amar Reinu Kodesh. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kodesh. Oh, So you see the Rebbe holds that even a half of shear is Kaddish. So how can you tell me half a shear is not Kaddish? But he explained that he had a mind to add, and before he didn't have a mind to add. Maybe that's the teretz. V'miso leilav mechavitin. If Rebbe Yochanan's bechavitin, that it's no good. So how come by the other menachos it is good? Learn out other menachos from chavitin. Maybe he doesn't learn out one mincha from another mincha. If you shecht shlomim inside the heichal, typically, where do you shecht shlomim? In the azara, which is less kedusha. He went into the heichal. I don't have the picture here, but he went into the heichal, which is those of us who haven't worn it for zvachim. The heichal is this large chamber. It's a very tall building, like 100
Indoors. Bottom line is
indoors.
versus
Well,
outdoor.
yeah, exactly.
It's making a mess indoors.
Oh, which is a very good point that you bring up here. I'm not kidding, because that answers some of the problems. Because it says Shlom sheshachtam behechal ksherim. So if it's kosher, so why don't you just do everything in there? Isn't it better to do it inside the heichal? Because in the Azara they actually had a sewer system. They had the drainage system. So yeah, the blood went, but it went away. You're going to start making a mess, shechting animals in the heichal. It's going to be a situation. That could be the reason why they didn't do it in there. The chsiv, so how do I know that I could shecht a shlomim inside the heichal? The chsiv, ushchotoi pesach oil moed. Where do you shecht the shlomim? Where do you shecht the shlomim? At the entrance, across the entrance of the oil moed. So if the Torah mentions the oil moed is what we know. That was in the Mishkan. Later on, when we had the Beis Hamikdash, what's the oil moed? The heichal. So it says in the Torah you should do it at the entrance of the heichal. So certainly you should be able to do it inside. So what do you see from here? So what's the nikud of the Gemara? The nikud of the Gemara is that you see that Rabbi Yochanan learns heichal from Azara. So you do learn one thing from the other. So how come I can't learn one mincha from chavitin? Says the Gemara, what we said seemed like obvious. Rabbi Yochanan's case was in a case that he had in mind to add. The Sanya, Mileim, right? The famous pasuk, we say it on Yom Tov. When do we say it? Nachon. Shneyem Mileim. Only in Sukkot? Seems like almost every shade of Chamishi. Fine. What is Shnei Mileim? In Hebrew, Mileim means full. So, okay.
Before the COVID.
Wow. Okay, no. You did it to make me feel good. I get it. Once in a while. First time. Okay. Shnei Mileim. What does it mean? So now we're going to have, whoever learns this Gemara is going to have a whole new understanding what the word means. Because Mileim means full. Says the Gemara, it doesn't mean full. It means whole. A full shear. Doesn't mean that the vessel should be totally to the top. It just means you should have a whole shear. What's the shear? Isarim, bring a holy